If you're in the market for a brand new drone, you probably have heard of this guy. This is the brand new DJI NEO drone, and in this video I'm going to be giving you over 15 reasons on why you should or should not be buying the DJI NEO. First reason on why you should buy the DJI NEO is the fact that it's made by DJI, and the reason I say this is because DJI has over they cover over 3/4 of the drone market, not because they are monopolizing the market, but because, simply put, they are the best manufacturers and they offer the best value in the drone space for consumers and for professionals. So you are probably having the best start at getting a DJI NEO or a DJI drone, because from what I've seen, they offer the best value. Not only that, you can see when it comes to DJI products, the NEO is fairly new, but you can see already on other like social media platforms, they are already selling it at discounted pricing. And if you want other accessories only, then you have support and markets where you can get this. At the same time, there's different support forums like on Reddit, Facebook. There's many pages that offer support and communities for your DJI drone. I recently just saw a DJI NEO page that had over 130 something thousand group members already, and it's just been 2 weeks. So with the DJI drone, you are pretty much starting off on a good note. Now, the first reason on why you should not buy the DJI NEO drone is because, well, it's limited in a way. According to DJI and DJI's website, they mentioned that if you're using the DJI Fly app on your iPhone or your mobile device to connect to the NEO, you have a range of about 50 meters away that you can go using the Wi-Fi connection, and a height of about 30 meters. But I tested that in my situation and that wasn't the case. My drone actually lost connection not too far off. I have that video somewhere on the channel or on top of this video. You can check it out and see. So you are limited in a way if you are only buying the drone itself without buying the RC controller, because if it loses connection, it actually doesn't have the mechanism to return home. It will stay hovering at the point where it lost connection until the battery depletes, and then it will do like a forced landing, and hopefully it won't land on someone else's car or in a river, or even worse, get lost in a forest or something like that. The second reason on why you should buy the DJI NEO is the fact that it's pretty much a very light drone. It comes in at 135 grams, and if you're in a country or region where if your drone is 250 grams and more, then you need a drone pilot license, because the NEO is much less than that. In Canada where I am, if your drone is 249 grams or less, then you won't need a drone pilot license. That's the reason if you have like the DJI Mini 4 Pro or the Mini 3 Pro, it's the reason why they make it. You notice here they put less than 249 grams, but the NEO is 135 grams, almost the half the weight of the DJI Mini 3 Pro or Mini 4 Pro. So you are able to fly it in most areas because it's such a small and micro drone. But of course, different countries and regions have different laws. Always make sure that you are allowed to fly before you take off. The second reason on why not to buy the DJI NEO is the fact that you are discouraged from flying over like water. It's very much or pretty much discouraged during the setup process, and there are higher chances of your drone flying away if you do that. And it's also discouraged from taking off over edges of buildings, or if you are like at a balcony where you have a very long drop all the way to the ground. It's discouraged to take off with your DJI NEO. If you do take off in those areas, you have higher chances of your drone either taking off or flying away. A third reason on why you should buy the DJI NEO is the fact that this drone is pretty much very cheap. You can see if I go to the DJI store application right here, if I look for the NEO, you'll be able to see that this comes in at $179, at least for me in my country and region. $179 US. it's pretty much affordable, and for other regions, of course, you might probably see $199 for a start, which puts the DJI Neo ahead of the competition in terms of pricing. It's cheaper than the Hover AX1 that I also have somewhere here, and it offers 4K, which the Hover AX1 doesn't have. So already it has an edge in pricing, and it has an edge in the video quality or footage that it records. Although from the testing that I've done, I haven't been able to see much of a difference between the Neo and the Hover AX1. You can check that video also in the description or on top here and see the differences yourself. But yeah, this little guy, the DJI Neo, it's very hard to beat at $179, or if you're seeing $199, that's still hard to beat for a pocket size, pretty much self-flying drone. Third reason on why not to buy the DJI Neo is the fact that right out the box, when you unbox your drone and you set it up and activate it, and you'll be so excited, you go and start to fly. Right out the box, the footage and images that it takes seems to be over sharpened, and unfortunately, just using the DJI Fly app on your mobile device, we don't have the ability to adjust the exposure yet. But if you have an RC controller or an RC controller that connects to your mobile device, then you have the ability to do that. But from what I've seen and experienced just from the few days or I've been using the DJI Neo, the footage seems to be over sharpened and in some cases overexposed. Fourth reason on why you should consider the DJI NEO drone is because of its ease of use. You can simply just watch one single video on how to set it up and then how to use the quick custom modes, and then you are ready to go. You just press a button, put your palm out, and then the drone begins to fly. So it's very easy to use, and anyone or everyone can simply just fly the DJI Neo without having any prior drone flying experience, because it's such an easy and small drone that you just take it out and fly it easily. Now, fourth reason on why not to buy the Neo is the fact that if you are using the DJI Fly app on your iPhone and you use the recording or the mic in the app to record your voice, even though it supports or allows you to connect an external microphone into your iPhone and use it and get a better sound, it still doesn't sound as good as connecting the microphone directly to like Apple's own voice note application and recording from it. It sounds over processed, and even though it cancels out the propeller sound, it still doesn't meet the quality that I would have expected, at least when you plug in an external microphone. So the voice recording you get is not the best. Another reason on why you should consider buying the DJI Neo is the fact that it's better than the Mini 3 Pro and better than the Mini 4 Pro, and not in what the sense that you are thinking, but in the sense of heat tolerance. So if you turn on your other drone like the Mini 3 Pro and you leave it laying there for a few minutes, I noticed that this drone tends to overheat pretty much quickly. But with the DJI Neo, it has a high heat tolerance, meaning that you can have it on. If you are just transferring data, you can have it on without it flying and it won't overheat, unlike what I've experienced with my other drones like the Mini 3 Pro. Another reason on why not to buy the DJI Neo that I've realized is the fact that even though it seems cheap, it's actually pricey if you add all the accessories and options that it can be paired with. If you add all the controllers and all the other accessories that are compatible with the Neo, it will run you close to $800, which is, crazy for the video quality, at least that you get for the DJI Neo. This is entry level, and I feel like at that price range of $800, you have better alternatives that you can get that have obstacle avoidance and better video and image quality. Another reason on why you should consider buying the DJI Neo is the fact that it's built like a tank, because it has the propeller guards that you can also, by the way, remove and get an extra minute of flying time. It's easier to bump into like branches, buildings, and not worry about your drone getting damaged. And I notice in most cases, if you bump, it actually won't tip over. You know, it will shake a little bit, but it will still continue to fly. But if it's something that hits it from underneath, then in that case, it might just stop flying, because underneath the drone is its weakness. Now, another reason on why not to buy the DJI NEO is the fact that it has pretty much poor wind resistant. If you are in an area where the wind speed is around 15 to 18 miles per hour or higher, then you are going to get pretty much shaky footage with the DJI NEO, and at the same time your flying time is going to be cut like drastically because it's using a lot of power to overcome the wind resistance. And if the wind exceeds like 18 miles per hour, and then yeah, your footage is gonna shake, and in most cases it might give you a warning message that hey, the wind resistance is too much, or worst case scenario, it tips over. Despite the DJI NEO being marketed as a palm takeoff drone, another reason on why to buy it, as you might have already guessed, is the fact that you can use manual controls with your mobile device and be able to customize things such as distance, and you can also like manually control your drone back and forth and do different rotations just from your mobile device. The only limitation is the Wi-Fi connection range, but it's good that hey, you have the ability to control your DJI NEO with your existing smartphone without buying any additional hardware. Another reason on why not to buy the DJI NEO is the fact that the internal storage of this drone is actually small. It's about 22 gigs of internal storage, and I found that if you're recording 4K footage, like I recorded footage in all 6 modes of the DJI NEO, and that took up about 7 gigs of storage, which you know is already pretty much a substantial portion of the 22 gigs, and it doesn't have an expandable SD card slot unlike some other drones. So 22 gigs if you are recording 4K footage might not be enough for you or sufficient, or you might have to keep transferring your data more often if you record a lot of footage. Another reason also to consider buying the DJI NEO is the fact that unlike other drones, in the DJI NEO package, when you unbox it, you actually get extra propellers and you get tools that you can use to be able to change your propellers. Unlike the competition, I won't name them, but yeah, you get some tools where you are able to change propellers, and if you want to clean your drone after that, it makes it easier, unlike the other guys. And I will close off by saying that, you know, the DJI NEO, despite it being such a small drone, I'm actually charging mine right here. I notice it charges, like if you're using like just a simple iPhone like charger, I think this is like the iPhone 16 charger that I use to charge my NEO. It takes long to charge, and at the same time, despite the NEO being a small drone, it's actually pretty loud. Like yeah, in my recordings, of course, my microphone that I like put on my shirt has some sort of noise reduction, but the NEO I found tends to be pretty much kind of loud for such a small drone. It seems like the smaller the drone is, the louder the whine of the propellers or the noise that it makes, and if there's higher winds too, the noise seems to elevate. So that's just a quick overview of a few reasons on why to buy the DJI NEO. I think at the price point of $179 or $199, depending on what you see, it's pretty much hard to beat at 4K 30. And even though there's been complaints about the NEO, I did do like a video showing the raw footage of the NEO unedited. There's been complaints, but at the price point of what you get for the NEO, I think it's pretty much, you know, hard to beat. And the competition, this is something that's good for the competition in this palm takeoff space. So that's just my quick 2 cents right here on the DJI NEO. Hopefully you know, it's given you a guide to see whether you should buy or not buy the DJI NEO. My name is Ben, and I'm signing out.